All right. So you can bring that down to you. Yeah, I'm sure you know how you do it.
Yeah, you can get it right from here. Should
You
be
got
pretty
it?
good. Yep.
Yep. All right. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. All right. I'm live with Bear here. So all the way from now you came
I I came from Kentucky. I'm from
yeah.
Bowling Green. Well, actually, south of Bowling Green, Kentucky, out in Franklin, Kentucky.
Okay. I know right where
So,
Bowling Green is. Driving
yep,
through
and
there.
my compadre here, Melvin, is from
Tennessee.
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 Exactly. Yeah.
You guys are making the drive to Attica. I
Oh
like it.
yeah. Oh yeah. We were up here doing a little bit of ghost hunting. We do it all. We cover Night Stalkers Paranormal covers everything. We do cryptid, UFOs, all the good stuff. So, including the hauntings.
Yeah.
So we've been doing it for a long, long time. I didn't get this gray hair for nothing.
Man, so I'm super excited actually that I didn't know that you covered the UFO stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm like I'm so far down the rabbit hole right now with that. And I just watched a thing. Well, it was actually another podcast with. So there's one on I got a few people wrote down on the board up there, but so Bob
yeah.
Lazar obviously is a huge one, probably like one of
Oh
the
yeah,
biggest ones.
yeah, yep,
But with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell,
yep, yep.
and
They're all, I see you got Stan Romanek, Steve Romanek on up there.
yeah, it's crazy. It's such a
Right.
crazy story.
There's so many stories within the UFO field. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
For years and years and years. Bob Lazar was back in the early days, and then after 20 years, he pops back up again.
Right.
Because of all the facts that he was talking about all turned out to be true, and then they put his element 115, I believe it was.
Yep.
They put it on the actual table.
Yeah.
So when you're talking, somebody's talking about a
Something that came out 20
20
years prior.
prior, and then
Right.
they drop that on the actual table
Yeah.
itself, then you know that's a pretty good story. So it brings it all back to him. So
Yeah.
that's
And
really good.
so for some of the folks that might be listening that don't know that story, so Bob Lazar was a physicist and he worked at S4.
S4, which is outside of Area 51, not Area 51 itself.
Yeah.
S4 is a totally different area, and that's one of the things. So a lot of people get confused about. They always say,
Yeah.
"Here's Area 51," but
Right.
S4 is same area.
Yeah, Site
Same
4
base.
is what
Yeah,
is that right?
exactly. Site 4.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like the craziest thing. So he brought they tried to say that he never worked there and they tried to discredit him by starting all these crazy rumors and shit like that. And then he did a thing to where he brought people in there and he knew exactly where everything was.
Right.
And it's like I think like 90% of the people are full of shit.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
But I'll tell you.
As we've gone through it, there's so much stuff that hits the fan, and you have to weigh it out.
Yeah.
I've been doing it. I've been doing paranormal investigations and all kinds of investigations since 1976, which puts me at about 43 years now.
Yeah.
So I've
So
been
you're
doing it for
you ain't a
long time.
rookie.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I've been with MUFON for several years.
And that's
director of
MUFON's.
MUFON is the Mutual UFO Network.
Yep.
I'm the state director of Kentucky for them. I've held several positions with them in the past, at headquarters positions and so forth. Star Team.
Yeah.
I'm a Star Team certified investigator, so it makes it different. We do a lot of fun stuff, a lot of good stuff.
Did you see that the Pentagon just released today?
Oh yeah.
So they
Yeah,
just released.
It's
so I
hitting
wrote,
everywhere.
yeah,
And-
so for those of you that haven't seen this, the Pentagon, the Pentagon just released UFOs are real, and in quotes, not made on this earth.
Right. And they have collected and they have actually announced that they do have craft that have been taken, actual crafts off this planet that they have recovered.
Yeah.
That
and
was
that runs parallel to Bob Lazar's story.
Right, exactly.
They had
That
found
puts
these
it right-
things.
That puts it all together.
Yeah.
All together as one.
And
It
they
does.
so they've from the understanding I have, they dug these up in like a historical dig or something like that, and they found them.
I haven't got the whole story yet, and that's the hard thing about it. Um, all the way back uh, uh, for many years, Clifford Stone and what was it, 2003, when the first a disclosure project was, which Steve Greer was involved in, came about at the press club in D.C. He gets on stage and says that he was collecting evidence and talking to, he had met aliens, also worked crash retrieval, and there was 57 different types of aliens in 2003.
No kidding.
Yeah, yeah, great guy to look into, Clifford Stone.
Clifford Stone, I got it.
Yeah, yeah, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so another one was the Steve, and I actually just talked about this on the last podcast I did, but that Steve Romanek.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what's crazy about that is like I'm a pretty techie kind of guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I get all nerdy into shit, and so like I'm super skeptical. So I'm
Yeah.
watching this, and he's got like photos and video, and the whole time I'm watching, like, could
Right.
I fake this?
Yeah.
And he didn't really come across like, very techie. I wouldn't say,
No.
but
Right.
maybe. So I'm like, could I fake this if I wanted to? And most of it was like, yeah, probably. Yeah, you could fake that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not back then, but like now for sure.
Right.
And so I'm watching it. But then what really took me is the like the equation thing. He said that he
Exactly.
got this equation given to him by one of these beings, and it just popped into his head, and he's
Mm-hmm.
going through like hypnosis, and he writes all this shit down. He's like, I don't even know what it means.
Oh yeah.
And then 20 years later, they're like, oh, so they're bending, like they're basically bending what gravity to travel at the speed of time.
Right. Exactly.
And it's such an insane thing. And then half of it made sense, and they're like, the other half we're not sure about, but this other half is there.
Whenever you're seeing these kind of things, and it's funny because I've worked with so many abductees, and
Do you believe them most time?
well, I am one. I got abducted when I was 9 years old.
Really?
Yeah, 1964, and
Damn thing let him go.
yeah, and I've been a lifelong one. I counsel all kinds of abductees and have for several years, and when you're sitting there dealing with someone who's telling you about the trauma that they've gone through and everything else,
Yeah.
there are certain key things that we use that we know that there's markers, if you will. So when
To see if you're
going
like
through-
bullshitting?
right, exactly.
okay.
So, and if they start hitting these markers, right away, this guy has had an experience.
Really?
That's exactly the way it is.
Like, what are
And,
some of those markers?
there are several of them. I'll tell you the hard thing is that the worst thing about abductees and the hardest thing to be able to deal with abductees is that when you are dealing with the trauma part of them,
Uh-huh.
they go through a life-changing experience when this happens to the first time that it happens.
Yeah.
And it is so violent. It just wipes out everything that they know. I mean,
For sure.
yeah. So I mean, imagine here you are, you're working, you're doing all the things that you do in your life, and all of a sudden everything changes.
All the
I
things
mean,
you know.
everything that you have told and been told is all bullshit.
Right.
Excuse my language.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then at that point, you are like going, oh my gosh. And then you're like, why me? Why did they hit me? Why did they take me? What was the purpose of all this?
Right.
So it's quite shocking. And there's as you deal with that, and I could get into thousands of markers, but I'm just gonna blow off of that one, and I'll let you and we'll move forward because when you're dealing with the abductees, it's a very powerful thing.
I'm sure.
One of the things that people don't understand is how many abductees try to commit suicide.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of suicide in abductees. Some of them do get it. We've talked a lot of them down out of it, and it's a tough road. It's a very tough road.
What was your experience, if you don't mind me asking?
My experience was in May of 1964, and I was in bed, and I had four glowing beings come into the room, and at that time, I was only 9 years old. Mom and Dad were in the other room. I started screaming bloody murder,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and nobody did anything. I didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden, this voice started talking to me in the head, and it was saying to me, "Just relax. We're not here after anyone else. We're just after you. It's okay. You'll be back. It's not a problem. Just relax." And then they kind of separated, and two came on one side of the bed, and two came on the other side of the bed. And the next thing I know, I'm walking outside of my house. I went right through the wall with them, and I'm walking through a cornfield to a ship, and then I go up into the ship, and um, I meet a larger alien at the time. We were dealing with the normal 4 footers, grays, if you would, back then.
Yeah.
Very mechanical in the way that they were, and kind of that way.
Like the way that they move, or
Right,
okay.
the way that they moved, they were like almost like AI. They felt AI. I mean, if I looked at it from all the time we look now, that's the way they were. I mean, kind of like an enslaved group. They were doing a job, and by getting me there, and then this other being about 6 foot tall, also gray, and next thing you know, I'm on a table, and they're doing things. And I remember one thing in particular. I always tell people, I say, "You ever hear of a butterfly kiss?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when they come down and they eyelash to eyelash.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was on my left hand side, and he bent down and he touched his eye to my eye, and that was the last thing I remembered. I woke up in bed.
Really.
Yep, I woke up in bed screaming like a son of a gun. Mom came in and was like, "Going, you had a terrible bad dream. You had an awful dream,"
Yeah.
and so it was pretty emotional. And then the next day we get up, and then there's um, a lot of activity across the other street from my house in this farmer's land.
Uh,
The Air Force was there, State Highway Patrol was there, and they were doing an investigation because he was seeing lights and everything else. And they had three. They did have an area where there was a tripoded pad with some burnt area there.
really.
Yeah, yeah. The reason why I know that is that being a kid, seeing what I saw and everything else, I decided to go off on an adventure and try to get back into the cornfield to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And they caught me. So
They caught me. They caught me.
yeah, yeah.
It's such a
So
it's
yeah,
such a fascinating thing. It
uh,
really is.
yeah. It is. I mean, the I put all of it in the same, and this is one of the things that a lot of people don't do in this field. They become they're very monitored on. Okay, I want to do ghost hunting, or I am a ufologist, or I am a crypto.
Hmm.
I got news for you. That's not the way to look at it. In my personal opinion, you got to do it all. If you're doing it all and you're going to cover it, they're all interrelated.
That was
Everything
my next
is,
question.
they're all
So they're
intertwined.
intertwined?
They're all intertwined. I mean, in Melbourne, you know that too. You've seen things that
Yeah.
are just crazy, and you
If it was,
know,
if it was every day, it wouldn't no longer be paranormal.
Right.
right,
Yeah.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
But it is that kind of stuff. I mean, it's the stuff that you go. Uh, we get to a house and again, say, I have paranormal activity. I've got shadow figures and all this stuff, and then we get to his house, we start interviewing, and we ask him a question and said, "Hey, have you ever had um, anything like a UFO? Have you ever seen a UFO? Have you ever had any?" He says, "Oh yeah, I've seen that." And when did your activity happen? Well, I've had activity almost all my life, but here in this house, it's just come up really hard. I said, "What kind of activity have you had?" And they will talk about shadow figures, light orbs, and
Like in
also
photos or in
actually
person?
seeing them
Okay.
in person.
Yeah.
And then uh, it goes a little bit more in detail, where they're like going, yeah, I have terrible nightmares. I have visions. I have these things that they want to show me or they're telling me about, and they talk to me. So it is all intertwined. Everything is all together, no matter what you know, however you want to separate it. And the best thing to do is to be able to do it that way. I was doing one of my radio shows last week, and I had a new UFO group on called UFO of America.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to be a power force coming up here shortly. And they've got a real good idea and a real good plan. And hopefully we'll be able to help them out and be a part of that for a little bit. So
That'd be
should
really
be pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
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 So you say that it's all intertwined. Do you think that that has anything to do with like? Do you think people get to looking for this shit and then like they see it and they're like, oh, there, if you go looking for something.
You never see it. I'll tell you one thing. I've been out with people, and Melvin can tell you the same thing, I'm sure. When you're out with people and they want to see something so bad, they never see it.
Uh-huh.
You know, the idea of it is to relax. People come out, they will, I gotta see this. I want to see it. I've got to have an experience.
Right.
And they rub it up so bad that it never happens because they're not paying attention. The best thing that I can say if you want to have an experience is sit at the top of the stadium. You know, when someone wants something so bad, they're like this. They're like right on top of everything.
Yeah.
And they're like going, but they're focused in this area. Well, if you pull back and you take a big shot of the whole picture and just relax and let your eyes and your mind work, then you're going to see the whole room and you're going to see the whole sky. And that's when you're going to be able to see the things that are going to happen. And when they happen, they're like that, and you know exactly what it is. And I don't care. People, I've done it for so many years. Sometimes I get pictures, sometimes I don't get pictures.
Yeah.
It's
And
like fishing.
Yeah. I was. It's
Yeah.
weird that you say that. I was thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the weird thing about the pictures are that you're just kind of sometimes you're stunned. I mean,
Really.
people go, "How come you don't have a camera?" Because I just had to look at the damn thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. I'm like going, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah.
And you're just looking at it, and then after experience, you go, "Wow, I really should have taken a picture." But it was so cool. And a lot of times when you're with a team or you're with other people, um, it's good to have validation also, so they can
Like
also
everybody
validate
said.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody sees the same thing or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody asked, "What are shadow figures?" I would assume it's just like a shadow silhouette.
yeah, shadow figures are darker than dark. I mean, if you're in a pitch black room, a shadow figure is an energy that you're going to see because that darkness is
Gonna get
darker than
darker.
dark.
Really?
That's what it is, and it is moving. Now, most of the people say that shadow figures are negative and terrible things. Um, no, I don't think so. People just associate black with negative.
Uh huh.
They're going to go, oh, it's a dark entity. It can't be good.
Yeah.
You know? But I work and help run Ontigan Hall Museum down in Franklin, Kentucky, and it's one of the most haunted places in the South. Valvin's been there. Our team does novice hunts there uh, for to raise money there for the hall and everything else. It's been around since 1856, and it's just an old 1847 actually. I'm sorry, and it's been a very very interesting place to be at. But shadow figures run all over the place there.
Really?
You see them all over, and they're done. Would you say they're negative all the time?
No.
You know,
No, they're not. The negative, you're gonna know them. You're gonna know what's negative, what's not.
Yeah.
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 And we've seen
Like
some negative.
like breaking shit and
Yeah.
aggressive.
Oh,
Hit
well, they
you with
can.
books, right?
Yeah. They can
Yeah.
come at you. They can run through you. I mean, the first time you have one of those spirits run through you, you're like going, holy shit, I'm going to have a heart attack. Excuse my language. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
mean to swear,
No, you're
but
good. Yeah, it's no.
I
You
mean
you say
I
say
mean
whatever
that's
you
just the
want.
way that it is, you know.
Yeah.
And
It'll drain you.
yeah,
It'll take, zap
all your
It's like
energy
you
out,
just come down with
everything.
the flu.
Really.
You're gonna get weak-legged.
Yeah.
Could get nauseous, dizzy,
Mm-hmm.
pass out.
Really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Seen all of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then it's funny as you get used to it. This is how you know the real investigators because they stay with it. Some people will go, "Oh no, I ain't gonna play with this stuff. It's too dangerous," you know. And it is dangerous. The field we are in is extremely dangerous. But for us, sometimes it goes through us. You know, after you have it happen one or two times, then you're like going, "Oh, please do that again."
Really. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hooked on
yeah.
it. Yeah.
What a rush.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
That's
So that's
insane.
what it is. But you know, and then you meet the entities that you or the place you go that you never forget, and you know those are the ones that we don't want to. You know that
What's something like that entail?
we go back to them. There's one here in Indiana that we had
Yeah,
some.
about 40 miles from here, a little town of Cayuga.
Yeah, Cayuga.
I know
Yeah.
right where that is. Yeah, it's just down
Willow's
south.
Weep.
Willow's Weep.
Okay, I've never been there.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it, to be honest. But
Save your breath and don't go.
yeah,
It's
No,
not
we have
suggested
a-
for somebody that just wants
Yeah.
to get started with it.
yeah. Willow's
Oh,
Weep,
Yeah, Willow's Weep.
It's
It's a
very
great thing.
evil.
It is pure evil.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most evil places we've been in. And we know a lot of people, and we have I have a very good friend, Dave Spinks. I've worked with him. I'm a part of his team with Society of the Supernatural with David Weatherly, Christian Lee, a few others, and so he bought this house for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to have a scientific place that you could do a lot of research and get to it and everything else. And so he had a few teams that he invited to this house, and it's been on the History Channel, it's been on the Travel Channel,
This Willow.
Willow's Weep.
Yeah, okay.
And there's a book out on it. Dave put a book out on it, which we were fortunate enough to write a few pages in it from our experiences there. And then he'll be putting out another book out, I believe, and there's supposed to be a documentary been on the place too. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an awesome place. It is an awesome place, but it's not for your weak of heart. It's not for the, when you walk into a place and you just know that you better have your A game with you every time.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to get hurt.
So, like, what kind of experiences have you guys had there?
Melvin had one that was really, really bad. Spirit got behind him, and
Yeah, better had a
Just-
picture of it. I was sitting on
You
the
have a
couch.
picture of it? Is that what you said?
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting on the couch, and he was right behind me.
And you have that on? You have a picture of that?
Oh yeah.
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 Really?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that
And,
afterwards.
well, that night, that was our last night there, and it kicked my ass.
Really?
I mean, bad, yeah. I was in bad shape when I left to go back to Danville to rest.
Really?
Yeah. We do a lot of hunting together. We've been.
So, like, does it physically hit you, or
Oh yeah. I mean, it's. It leaves its mark.
really?
Yeah.
Just like Bear's
You
Leg.
can't see my legs.
2 years ago, when first time we were there.
And they're still bothering me. I was attacked in my legs. And
Really?
it still bothered me.
No shit.
Honest to gosh.
What? So what? Like, what happened? Can you talk? I mean, can you talk about that, or?
The spirit, that house has got some. First thing you need to know about the house, it's built in an upside down cross. It's built as an upside down cross.
Oh, the house is.
Yes.
You look at the roof,
Yeah.
especially from the sky.
It's an
Uh-huh.
upside down cross.
It's upside down cross.
It has the first owner of the house was pretty nasty little guy,
He's a
and
convicted child molester.
Lester, exactly.
Okay.
And in his family, went through all that stuff, his daughters and everything else. Well, he goes out to the hog pen, and he falls down the hog pen. Um, Meanwhile, while his daughter goes looking out to go find him, she misses him, goes out to look for him, and the hogs are chewing his ankles and his intestines out.
Oh shit.
They completely disemboweled
Bowed him. So, and he was still alive. So they drag him in and put him in the house, and he dies in the house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the first thing that happened in the house. But yeah, there are some interesting things in the house. I mean,
Suicides.
everybody knows me as Bear, okay?
Yeah.
And, there's an area in that house that is, the floor is centered up, and you'll hear booms come out of it. It's so hard that it's like boof.
Yeah,
And it's like the floor lifts up on it. And, then you'll just feel super energy. And then there was the thing when I was leaving, we were leaving to come back, and everybody on my team always calls me Bear. I introduce myself to all the spirits, everything we deal with is Bear. And this damn thing comes right when we were walking out of the door, yells, "Goodbye, Barry."
Really?
Just to free people. Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
we
yeah.
got DVPs. That was
Yeah.
the ghost box. That was in the air.
Yeah, that was in the air, disembodied voices, and on.
And you guys
on tape.
recorded it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. So,
So how did it hurt you?
by touching me,
That was it.
yeah.
What happened? It come to you and just touched you? I mean,
Oh yeah, if it touches you and it does the things that you can do to you, and it's just
But the wounds
That's
on his
really-
leg haven't grown over. They're still
open wounds.
and have been for 2 years.
Yeah,
Since the first time we were there.
really?
right, exactly.
So that ain't shit that you want to get involved in on the first
No,
go
that's
around.
why I say that's the thing. It's not for. We've been there 3 times, and
Do you think the legs were just because like his legs had been attacked, or
I don't know what it was. I mean, and that's I never thought of it that way. To be truthful with you,
yeah,
I just know that it's been bad, and we've had every one of our team members have had a different experience when we've been in there. It is just a evil place. Is a great website, Willow's Weep website. Look on the History Channel. What was that show?
The Unexplained. the
Unexplained.
very one. It
First
was
Unexplained.
Hosted by William Shatner.
Yeah,
really,
yeah. The very
Very
first
first
one on the History Channel
yeah,
had Willow's Weep in it. It is one of the most haunted houses one of the most evilest houses in the country.
really,
Yeah.
man, that's nuts.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
So had anything happened to you at that place, at the location?
Oh, I got drained. Like I said, it whooped my ass bad that night.
Yeah.
So it just touched you and then you felt nauseous and
Yeah.
no energy?
Well, no, because he was standing right behind me.
Oh,
Yeah, he was draining him.
The Indy was right behind me.
Yeah.
It looked like he had on overalls.
It did. Yeah.
I mean, it looked like a Farmer Joe with overalls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his face
He
was.
was just bent over the couch. I was sitting on the couch. He just bent over like that, right over the couch, right behind me.
Yeah. We caught shadow figures, a lot of different things. There's
The
a
girl's voice said, "Help me."
help. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was loud.
Yeah. And you don't want to stay in that house very long. You can't stay in that house very long. That's one of the, we do a lot of investigations, and we go out and, we're there for a long time. We're doing different things. And that house, you just don't feel like staying. You take breaks a lot. You go in the house, and we sat outside for a little bit, and we go back in the house. But it's not one of those type of things that you want to spend a lot of time in, is it?
No.
You do your business, you get the stuff you want to do, you ask the questions, and then you're like going, I need to get out of here.
really?
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the places I've been,
Yeah.
all the houses, homes, private residences and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only place that really gives me the heebie-jeebies. I mean,
It's right there, yeah.
That's the only place where I really feel uncomfortable.
No kidding.
Yeah. We've had other experiences at other places that are good and bad,
Yeah.
and so, and one of the things about this is that it worries me because afterwards, I've been attacked before on my legs. It's like once you have that marking or you have a mark on you like that, other spirits will attack you there.
Really?
Yeah, I've been,
One
I've
time
sat
looked like
down and
fang
been
marks.
right. Yeah,
Looked like fangs in your legs at one time.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
What's the so what's like one of the craziest stories you got?
There are too many of them. I'll tell you one thing though. There was a team, ESP, Terry Tracy, and they were at Octagon Hall, and they were out in the back. We were supposed to meet for dinner. We were actually going to hunt the house, and we were there the day before. Remember, we were there for that world's largest ghost hunt,
Yeah.
and they came up to
That was
do that.
amazing.
Yeah, and uh, we didn't get an opportunity to go outside that night, and we didn't get to go back to the cemeteries. There's two cemeteries on the property, so I said, well, let's go out to dinner. And they said, well, we really didn't get a chance. I said, well, if you guys want to, let's go out there and sit out there for a minute or two. And they said, okay, let's get our equipment. So we went out and sat in the cemetery for a little bit. And there was 5 of us there. And most bizarrest thing I've ever seen, they had the EDI equipment set up.
And that's what?
It's an EDI meter, and it's like EMF and everything else. We had a REM pod sitting there, so multicolors, if it touches or you have anything come across, it will light up and know that you're making anything with happening with the spirit. The EMF meters and the REM pods and the MEL meters all give out readings that will tell you if you're collecting EMF, also the current temperature and everything else.
What's
And,
EMF?
electronic magnetic field.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I was gonna say evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it. That's about it. But yeah, that's the stuff that uh, EMF can cause a lot of different problems, and even just electricity. When we go into a house, I'll get back to this story here since you asked me at the EMF. I'll
Yeah.
tell you about it. It can create hallucinations, everything else, give you headaches, make you think things. I mean, so like I'm sitting right here next to this water heater or this
Yeah.
water cooler here, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a meter on it, if it's reading 50, obviously it's putting out high EMF. There's something wrong with it that's causing a strong current. Now, if you sat around it for 20 to 30 minutes all at one time and it was doing that, you may start getting a headache. You may start feeling things that are wrong with you, everything else. And it's called what we call a fear cage, and that is something we can go into and tell people, have that looked at. Get rid of that. Move that out of your area.
Yeah.
Move it farther away from you because that's going to affect the things that you have and the things that you may see and the
Ah.
way you may feel. So some of the stuff that is, that's what we do. We go in and debunk and everything else, and that's how you do it.
Get rid of all the variables.
Right. You have to get rid of all the variables. But, and when we're doing it, I'll get back to the story. So we have all these equipment in there, and they've got it laid out there, and we're just sitting there. And all of a sudden, and I've pretty well seen about every kind of equipment imaginable, and all of a sudden I see this light ball come shooting up out of the top of one of their EDI machines, and it goes, poof, and it shoots across like a lightning bolt across the cemetery, and I went, wow. Do your machines always do that?
Like this.
I mean, yeah, where do you buy those, man? I got to get one of those. Those are the coolest things I've ever seen. They don't do that. So we're watching it, and it was so crazy that the activity, the millimeters start squeaking and going off like crazy, and then the REM pod actually lights up.
And what's that?
It's a device that is sends on a sensor. So, like if you put it down on the ground, you pull up a thing and it reaches out. So if you go closer to it, it's going to pick up sensitivity to it. And what it will do is the lights around it will actually light up. So the closer you are to it, the more lights light up.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you would grab the pole, if you grab that antenna that came out of it,
Uh-huh.
it will just bury it. It'll go whoop, all the way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but and that's what starts happening all of a sudden, and then I have one of those devices. I've never seen a ball shoot out of that one. I saw one that night shoot out of it, shot straight up in the air. Looked like a fireworks show going on.
Really?
We were in the hall is the cemetery there has bald cypress trees in it, and they were hanging down and everything else, and it was so lit up and so crazy. And all of a sudden we started looking, and it looked like we had one. You know, three of us are seasoned. I mean, we've been around for a long time. Myself, Tracy, and Terry. And that was kind of the order we were sitting in. I was sitting here, Tracy was sitting here, and Terry was sitting over at the other location right next to Tracy. And then there was another lady, and then there was a guy standing wasn't big about everything else. And he said, "Are you seeing this stuff? Are you seeing this crap? What the heck?" He says, "I'm out of here." And he goes, try to run away and head towards the house again. And he stops dead in his tracks because there's a gigantic shadow figure standing in the middle of the path that he has to go through, and he won't go down there now.
Really?
Yeah.
Said, forget it, I'm out.
Yeah. So he says, "Oh my gosh." And he says, "Are you?" And then he comes back and he says, "This is, I can't stand this." He says, "You guys are just sitting there. What the hell?" This is what we do. We love it. I mean, we're watching it like going, "Oh my gosh."
Right, right.
And as we're watching it, there are people, shadow figures, but you were seeing them as individuals, tall, short, everywhere. And they're coming all in. And it looked like there's a field back there, and it looked like they were coming in from the field. And some of them actually looked like they were holding tools and so forth. And there was probably 50 of them, and they were just surrounding us. And
because like they didn't like you being there, or
I don't know. I think they were showing us something that was really kind of cool, but at the same time, they wanted us to go.
yeah,
You know, we had stayed our welcome, and they wanted back their place. So we didn't want to leave. And I said, "Well, give us a sign that you want us to leave." My cell phone here was at the house on the back porch. And how far would you say that is? Over 200 yards away?
Probably every bit of it.
Yeah. And my cell phone was ringing like it was dropped right in front of me. You could hear it in the cemetery.
really.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever heard what a cell phone sounds like from 200 yards away.
Not
You
very,
don't hear it.
Yeah, it wasn't very loud. Yeah, yeah, it wouldn't be very loud.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and we decided at that point to go ahead and leave, and the night just got stranger after that. So it was weird. Very
Man,
weird.
that's insane. So you guys are here in Attica for
Yeah, we're here at
McDonald House.
we're doing the McDonald House. We originally did it
March first time.
right the first time we did it. Find it very interesting, extremely awesome home, great people. Katie and Mike are just super people. But the house is haunted, has a story. You know, every spirit wants to tell you a story, and it's all about the stories and what you have. And Attica down here has got a lot of cool things going on for it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fun. We have had mentioned. We came and investigated it, had a great time, caught some really good evidence. Then brought back Rose's, Rosella C. Rao and David Spinks, and hunted with them there, and we all caught great evidence that night. And then just recently, ESP, Tracy and Jerry were up from Florida, and they investigated it also. So, and this is our third time here, and it's great. It's a great place.
So what kind of
Tomorrow we're doing a far side chat kind of like. We're just gonna sit back and talk about the place and
yeah
do that for a little bit.
that's open to the public, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
When is that? That's tomorrow. Which
Yeah, it's tomorrow night. I'll have to ask Mike.
Tomorrow from 7 to 8 or something like that.
Yeah, and
Last time we did it, it went 2.5 hours instead of 1.
yeah,
'cause,
a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
yeah. Once I get talking, and the bad thing about it is that we have so many stories and so many things, and we do it all. That's the thing. We can talk about Bigfoot. We can talk about UFOs. We can talk about it
Yeah.
all because we've experienced it all. We've all been there, and we all work on it, and we work on
Another
it.
thing too is we try
100%.
to get them involved, listen to their stories,
Yeah.
answer their questions if they have any.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. I'm sure people have questions. It's
oh, they did. They had some good stories too.
Well, they have great stories, and they also have. It brings out people that will maybe have. They'll say, "I might have a problem in my house. Can you help me?" You know? And also on our team we have an exorcist who is a father in the Catholic Church. That's what he does.
that shit scares the hell out of me. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I don't like that
Yeah.
shit.
He travels.
Father Casey would have been here with us, but
Yeah.
he had a case down in
Yeah,
I think South Carolina.
it was South Carolina. He had an
The
emergency
church
case in South
sending him
Carolina.
down there, so he was going to come, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
he couldn't make it this week.
But and we do a lot of cleansing and we do a lot of things. So we have, we've had a lot of exciting. I've had a lot of exciting times dealing with that stuff. So.
Like exorcisms and things like that.
Yeah, cleansings and exorcism where you're taking out spirits and everything else, and been physically attacked with that. I've had some very strange things happen, haven't I?
yeah, we run into some stuff now.
Yeah, we like to. Like I said, it's very dangerous. It's not for everybody to do, but I think that there are certain people that are meant to do that.
Yeah.
And if you're one individual that does it and you're smart with it and you do it right and you are careful, then it works out really well for you, and you can help your client. You don't want to make the client. You don't want to make things worse for the client. You always want to make it better.
Like after you
And-
leave.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because it can turn nasty, and we follow up on a lot of groups because a lot of groups will call us and say, "Hey, help us out. We're in trouble here." So
Yeah.
we do that also. So we love the field. We like to share. We like unity. We'll talk about anything. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you guys said that this is your third time around here at the McDonald House. What kind of evidence have you guys got from there?
I'll tell you one thing. The best time, and Melvin will verify this. You ever heard kind of like the shaving, where you ask a spirit to knock?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and you go, okay, we can communicate with this device. We can hear you on this device. You can touch this, and it will go off. You get close, and we can communicate. You can say yes, no's, and we can use a spirit box to talk to us. But we also say you can always communicate to us by a knock. And that is by going 1 for yes,
Uh-huh.
2 for no.
Yeah.
All right. And I have,
Wow.
like I said, I've been doing it for a long time, and that was the loudest knocks I've ever heard for 20 minutes. We communicated with the spirit, yes and no. As we'd ask you questions, it was doing it like,
It was aggressive.
Yeah.
it was that
Really?
aggressive.
Came from
Yeah.
under the bed, come from the
Walls.
all the way around the bed and the floor.
Yeah.
Back in the walls again.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff when you're sitting there and you're looking at it and you kind of go, hey, this can be a problem because now I heard it over here. Now it's under the bed, and I'm like going, well, what's hanging over the bed? My legs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Well, here we go again. I guess they're gonna take a bite out of crime or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, the
It's
first
fun.
time I was here, I got woke up to the giggling of children outside the door and running in the hall. We were the only ones there,
Really.
Mhm.
but there was children giggling.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah,
I wouldn't like that. That shit would. Nah, I'd be out. See y'all
yeah.
later.
Well, it's funny because the last night, Spinks went home. The night before, he was talking about having his toes and everything else
Yeah,
tickled, and
they
blanket
pulled
pulled
the
off
blanket
of the
off.
pulled the blanket off the bed.
Really?
And then next night, he wasn't upstairs, and I was on the second floor, and they came down, and they came into my room, and everything on the dresser stand just went flying across the room. They wiped it all off, everything, just whew. And I said, "Look, we're leaving in the morning. Got to get up early. Go downstairs and bother Melvin. He was on the first floor." And then,
They did.
yeah, and they listened. And what happens then is you can tell them what they did.
Yeah, they come down and they was tapping on my door. Just tap, tap.
Yeah,
Said, all right, I'm tired now. Y'all go to bed. Leave me alone.
yeah,
I didn't hear no more the rest of the night.
Really?
yeah. I mean,
So,
a lot of times they're pretty agreeable with you.
Children.
really?
Yeah,
There are children there.
yeah. There's children there. There's also adults that will, they. If you don't speak to somebody for imagine
160
years,
Right.
and all of a sudden somebody comes in there and goes, "Hey, how you doing there, fella?"
Yeah.
And you're gonna go, "He's talking to me."
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you have to seek this out to experience something like this, you think? Like if I just went and stayed, didn't know anything about it, stayed there, I mean,
You know what? Most people go to, they go to a hotel or an Airbnb,
yeah.
and a lot of times, yes, the history's out there, and yes, it is, and you could say yes, it's been known to be haunted. Um, but other people who may never even know it will come there and say, "Wow, couldn't sleep last night because somebody kept me awake all night long."
Yeah.
Or I had this happen to me, or I had this happen to me. And people throughout this country who don't even believe in it have gone to hotels, motels, Airbnbs, and had experiences that are what they consider to be paranormal.
Huh.
And it's because it's the history of the house. I mean, you are living in someone else's home. I
Right.
mean, and their spirit may still be there, and they're just taking care of you.
That's insane,
In its
man.
own way.
Yeah, and so Mike said that it is tomorrow night from 7 to 8 p.m. So tomorrow will be the what 24th, 25th.
Yep, 25th. Great.
Yeah, so the
Right,
25th from 7 to 8 p.m. Show up and talk to these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be an awesome time. We did one the last time we were here, and we really enjoy it. And we love meeting people, and we love talking about our craft because this is what we've been doing forever. And I like to be able to talk to people about it and distill some of the rumors and also help people.
Yeah.
That's all it is. What we do is we do this because we're here to help people.
Yeah.
There's people that have a lot of problems in their homes. They have a lot of energies. They have different things that happen, and that's what we do.
And there's no charge. We don't charge people.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Free
yeah,
service.
We never. Oh yeah, we never charge a dime.
Really?
So, yeah, and,
That's awesome.
that's one of the things about it. If you ever in the paranormal, when somebody says, "I want money for doing this," run the other way as fast as you can.
They full of
Because-
shit, you think?
Yeah. Oh, they're
Yeah,
definitely
but
full of
they're-
shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really doing it for all the wrong reasons. They
Right.
may come in there and say, well, I'll, $3,000 I'll come in, I'll sage your house, and that'll take care of it. No,
Don't cut it.
no, don't cut it.
Uh-uh.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get into these things such as saging and stuff like that, if it's not done correctly, you're gonna make things a whole lot worse.
Really?
Yeah, and we do that. That's one of the things that we do, and we do it quite well. And we have a team. Our team is put together. Each team member has a purpose on the team, and they're hand selected, and it works out really well. And I'm very happy to be able to go out with these guys and hunt with them all the time. And they're just special individuals. They're family,
Yeah.
they're our family, and trust them off and on, and till the day is long. But we do move spirits. We do those things, and it's really cool. I mean, I'm thankful that we can do it, and we can help people out, and give them the explanations of what they need to do. So.
Yeah. Man, they're great stories, and I'm glad to have you guys here.
Oh well, thank you. We're awfully glad to be here, and
This is not my first trip to Attica, by the way.
Mm.
he's
My
a
wife is from Attica, so I've been
Oh,
coming
really?
to Attica for
This is the first time on the B Team podcast,
That's
though.
right, exactly.
And I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah, well,
Hell
this is
yeah.
awesome. It's awesome, and we thank you for having us here. And we did a live remote for my radio show up here the last time we were here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was really
Into the
good. So,
Fire.
Into the Fire Radio,
Where do you
Yeah.
where do you find that at? You can
Blog
plug it.
Talk Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do, as I said,
Interesting.
2-hour
Interesting
shows.
people on there.
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of different interesting
But the one that
guests.
I'm so proud of is, you know which one I'm proud of?
Andrea Parrott.
Andrea Parrott
Farron.
from the
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was on there with us.
Really?
Yeah,
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 she's
sweet lady, really good lady. So, yeah, but we have so many people, and we've met so many friends. Angelia Shear, I love her.
Tennessee MUFON.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like.
okay.
There's so many
Talked to
different
her
people
before we got here.
that we've met. Terry Lovelace, great guy, great book. UFO abductee, and golly, I've had them all on there. I mean, and we've had a lot of people over the years.
A lot of heavyweights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's fun, and we do it just like just like you're doing it,
Yeah.
Except I don't shoot the video.
You don't?
No, we
All
do
just-
2 hours. I do 2 hours, and it's like in the living room,
Yeah.
and we just talk about it as sitting there, just like, hey.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me if I like get scripts together, and like I'm like, nah,
No.
I don't like that, and I like this. Like I don't do. I've had people ask me to go and do like a video chat with somebody, and it's just
Right.
it's just not the same.
Yeah.
You can't read the body language. You can't. There's just a certain part of like having someone here where you can actually
Exactly.
legitimately communicate with them that you
Yeah.
can't do over over
Yeah.
here like that.
Well, God, if you're leaving my body image today, woo.
No, we have
It's
done,
been a long day.
we have done some pretty amazing places though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
down Tennessee where I live, we done Andrew Jackson's old law office when he was a lawyer in Gallatin.
Mm-hmm.
President Andrew Jackson.
Right. Really.
Yeah. So we done his law office. And
How was that?
It was nice. There's nothing bad there, but there's a lot of sadness
Oh.
because during the Civil War, the front part of the building was used as a military hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, when you get
Pretty
into
gnarly there.
A lot of
Yeah.
limbs and everything. People died there.
Yeah.
yeah, same thing with Nottingham Hall. We had 9,000 Confederate soldiers showed up there after being hit with 3 days of artillery, and they got there, and the 9,000 men, not all of them left there, and that whole ground is just penetrated with blood from people's arms and legs and everything else being amputated, cut off, and dying in that property. So when that happens and those kind of things are left, of course you're going to have that. Plus, it even goes back farther. I mean, some people go, how come a new house can be haunted? Well, it's not associated with the house. It's
Is it the
associated with
land?
the
That's
land.
with the land.
And if you're talking about Native American and everything else, you have to be, half of the stuff is about respect. You don't go in and start yelling, "Hey, spirit, let's do that and let's do this," and if you don't do this, I'm going to be cutting your head off. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen that way. And
Just
it's
like
show and
like the shit you
dough.
see on TV.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's for TV. It's entertainment. That's what it is.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
for entertainment purposes. So, and unfortunately, we know a lot of the people from TV. We've worked with them, done all kinds of stuff. But, there's some real investigators that do it, and there's some that are actors.
Yeah. Well.
That's
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah. I could imagine that.
Yeah.
Because
So,
every house does not have a demon.
yeah, they're few and far between, and you'll always know when you get one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, we did. We run into occasionally. We run into what we call a nasty entity, and when you do run into that, it's a battle, and it's on, and they can kill you.
Really.
mean,
Yeah.
No doubt about it. They can hurt you in a bad way.
They're not all Casper.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I could
exactly.
imagine
Yeah,
that.
that used to be the line we used to use quite a lot of times. They're not all Casper.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with any kind of crypto, anything is out there right now, and it's really weird as you're looking at today. It seems like people always say, "Is the activity picking up?" I'm going, "Yeah, it's definitely picking up. The negativity that everybody feeds. These things feed off of negativity. A lot of them,
Uh-huh.
And so, what do we have today in the world? We've got all kinds of problems going on.
Right.
People
Negativity
hating
everywhere.
everybody, doing all kinds of stupid stuff, and so what's happening? It's like part of, if you will, take Ghost Hunters 2, Ghostbusters, and you got that evil sea of that orange sludge floating down the
Yeah. Yeah.
river there, and it's bubbling up. And so it's kind of the same situation. And we're even seeing different cryptos, aren't we? We're hearing
Yeah.
different noises, seeing things that are just, you're like going, how ancient is that?
Yeah. You're
You
talking
know?
about validation. That night, one night, I'll say, because we've had so many at the hall, but this particular night was at the slave cemetery again, and was looking at the corn. Corn's already dried. They hadn't cut it down yet. Corn's over 10 foot tall. Well, there was a creature in that corn, and was actually kind of hunched over a little bit.
And he was that tall that you could actually see him leaning
Really. Over the corn.
over the
And
corn,
he
over
he
that.
was moving in
Yeah.
toward us. Well, there was a bright light that shot up out of the ground. I mean, it just come up out of the ground and kind of lunged and then went back. When it did, that thing took off running, and you could see like we always say, is like Moses parting the Red Sea, because the way the corn was moving as he was running.
Oh, he
toward
was
the
he
woods.
was physically moving it.
Oh, he was.
He was physically.
He was getting it.
What was the
There
light?
we to this day we don't know, and it's really funny. We had three of us standing there together, and it shocked us because it came up like almost like an orb up out of the ground, stayed there, and then it surged at us. It like went voop, like that and pulled back. And when it did, all three of us were standing in a line looking at this hairy thing that's looking at us, and we all took a step backwards all at the same time.
Like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, what the heck was that? And then at the same time, he takes off and he starts running at an angle over towards the woods through this cornfield. And for as far as you could see, all you could see is that corn just going, phew, phew.
The moon was
Phew.
pretty well full, Coach, so you didn't have no trouble seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, and he was running at an angle directly into the high woods. And
What we call the
Yeah.
deadwoods.
dead woods, yeah, over there.
It's
So.
very creepy over there.
Really? And where's this at?
This is in Kentucky, in
Okay.
Simpson County.
Octagon Hall Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the back of it. There's so many paranormal places. You know, Kentucky has a lot. Tennessee has a lot. We're on the 37th parallel. You know, a lot of activities going down that way. Mammoth Cave is there, so the largest cave system in the world sits at 37 at the 37th parallel. Uh, that's known as the UFO highway. It's known as just paranormal. That's all the way around the world. Everywhere that you get around the 37th parallel, and the caves have mysteries. I mean, look at the largest cave system in the world is in Kentucky. It has only probably been 30% of it has been investigated and gone into. And
Really?
yeah,
I didn't
and the
know that.
other of it is not. You know, and it goes through private property, and you have running water, you have limestone. Everybody knows you start putting those two together, what do you have? You're going to have a paranormal activity because it brings that energy forward.
See, I got back from out west, so I went out to
Yeah,
like, Utah and Wyoming
excellent.
and out there like kind of getting back to the UFO thing. Everyone
Yeah.
says that it's a weird vibe when you go there.
Oh, yeah.
And I stayed in a place. Actually, it was right on the border. It was in Idaho, but
Uh huh.
I stayed there, and I
Beautiful
mean,
area.
yeah, pitch black, you know,
Uh huh.
and just open as far as you can see, and then you can see mountains out there, and it is an odd vibe for I don't know, so I don't know if this stuff's real. I don't have any experience with it,
Yeah.
and but I will say that if I thought that a UFO was coming down, that's going to be the place. Like
Oh,
that,
well,
it had that feel to it, and I thought that was really odd. So now, I'd never
you,
felt that way before.
there are areas out there that do that. Area 51 uh, blew me away. So did um, outside of where the heck was that? Roswell was kind of weird. Um, but there are areas out there that do have a certain vibe and do have energy that you can pick up on.
Yeah,
One of the things about it is when you're in Idaho and you're up in those areas, when you're in the dark, people don't realize what dark means.
it's not like this.
Yeah, no,
This
no. I
ain't
mean,
dark.
it's yeah, this is not dark. Dark is like you hold your hand out in front of you
Yeah,
and you can't see nothing.
right,
You don't even. You're like going, wow, I can't take a step because I don't know what I'm going to step in,
right.
and that's a weird feeling to
Driggs.
get
That's
used
that's
to.
where I stayed.
Yeah,
Driggs, Idaho.
yeah, and that's a weird feeling to get into.
Yeah.
But if you look up into the sky, you're going to see everything.
The stars were brighter than I've ever seen
Oh,
them.
I know,
It was
just
insane.
beautiful.
We
And
did
that's
we did a long exposure
uh huh.
shot out there,
Oh,
and so you
beautiful.
can it was yeah, and like I mean this was a photo that I didn't take it, my girlfriend did, but
Yeah,
like we took it and I seen it, and like you can see like the galaxy
right.
for real.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, yeah, you can see deep. I
yeah,
mean,
and it's
yeah,
it's
exactly.
insane. So you can see like yellow and white and all this in this photo.
Right.
It's very cool. It's on Instagram. Like she posted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for other people to see as well. But yeah,
Yeah. It's awesome.
it's really cool to be able to see that. And when you look out that far, it's not like when you're in a city or even in a small town like this. It's just not the same.
Yeah. Right.
And you
Exactly.
can see so much further.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so like after that, I got into a little bit of the UFO stuff, and I did some research, and then today, I mean, what a coincidence that you guys are here, but
Yeah.
the
It's
Pentagon
great. I'm
released
glad
that
we
and
got
said
to.
that the UFOs, like that is so
Yeah.
insane to me. The Pentagon is saying they're
Yeah.
real, like we have evidence, and they're not made on this earth.
Well, and I got to tell you something. I've been in this so long, and we've been talking about disclosure. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and then we always kind of go. And believe me, my phone's been blown up with this today.
Because of the Pentagon document?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And everybody said, "Oh, we're gonna watch this. This is significant." And everything else. Well, is it, or is it does it have another agenda? That's the number one thing that we have to look forward to, and everything else, because when it originally came out, and I'll just give you my feeling, and it's just this is my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
take it for what it's worth. So here comes 2017. Lou Alonzo comes out and says, "I worked for the government in this military thing, and we had these videos." And then from that point on, it goes into something else, And then the government says, "Yes, we do have these
Was that the Tic Tac
videos."
from the pilots
That's the Tic Tac from the pilots, and it goes into a
that
History
are,
Channel show.
yeah, that are like very high, like they're very highly intelligent people. Like they're not
Exactly.
idiots.
No, no. I mean, pilots are pilots, and they're known as the best kind of investigators because they are well trained.
Right.
So are military, so are police officers, and everything else. Those are your high trained witnesses that you consider most trusted. So this comes about. TTSA is started, which is a group from the guy from Blink 52 comes in and
Oh yeah.
decides that he wants to get into UFOs, and he starts TTSA, and they get the History Channel show, and they start developing and talking about the military stuff. And I think it was important to talk about. But where do they leave it? They leave it every time that I watch it, it was the alien threat.
Oh,
Okay.
painting it out to be a bad thing.
Right. It's the alien threat. It's the alien threat.
Uh-huh.
Again, I'm going to go back to 2003 and the Disclosure Project and golly, Carolyn Roslin on stage. Worked with Robert Brown Brom, the whole 9 yards. And what is she talking about? She is bringing forth the false flags and everything else.
Yeah.
And as we go through time, the last false flag, the alien threat.
Yeah.
The alien
So you
threat.
think they'll paint it out to be a bad thing, is what you're saying?
Good. And then what does that do?
Right.
I mean, so you always have to keep your mind doing it. The best thing that we can do is research, research, research.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell everybody that, don't believe what I say. Don't believe what he says. Don't believe what you say.
You can't believe what I say.
And don't believe it from there. Go out and research it.
Yeah.
Live it. Do it.
Yeah.
Look for it. Winky Links is not
Right.
is not the place to research. It says, oh, yeah, that's the way it is. Or Snopes says, oh, yeah, it's got to be that way. No, it isn't.
It changes a lot.
Right, exactly. Go out and do it. Investigate. Look for the things. Go to the places and search for yourself. And then make your decisions.
Yeah.
It's just like with
Excuse me.
hauntings and everything. A good part of the case is the actual research itself. Find out the history, what happened there, were there suicides, were there Indian massacres,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or natural disasters.
Right.
So that's what we do. We also do the research on the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that is a very important part.
Well, so if you're doing it, and I mean, it's like going, I value it at 75% of it is research,
Yeah.
And then the fun part is 15% of the time when you go out and investigate and be able to find evidence to support the claims.
Right.
And then the last part is the part that everybody hates, is sitting there watching hours of videos, reviewing evidence
Yeah, for now.
to make sure that you got the
Yeah.
right stuff and to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
And then, all in all, you present a case that's going to help people out to tell them, yes, you have a haunting. And then you take that step further to say, this is some of the things that we can do. We can work with you to help you understand this better, possibly get rid of them, do other things. So it's cool.
I think all of it is very fascinating, and even if even if I never seen anything, never bought into it, never all the whole life, you know.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I get into that. I love reading about it. You know, the exorcism shit weirds
Yeah.
me out, but you know but like the
Yeah.
UFO stories and things like that. It's just such a fascinating
It's a great
thing.
thing. Well, there's a lot of places out there that you can go. I mean, um, I mentioned the new group UFO America. They're going to be looking for investigators. They're going to be doing some things like that. Great place to start off with. Great place to have other people. You know, they train you. MUFON, Mutual UFO Network.
Yeah.
You can become a field investigator there and work your way up to different ranks of it, and hopefully be at the top of the end of it. You're considered to be a star team, meaning that you are the elite of the elite.
Oh,
You
right.
know, and which is a great thing. Becoming a boots on the ground investigator. There are so many different people that Look, I'm sitting in a chair talking to you, right?
Yeah.
And there are people that never leave their chair.
Mm.
And they will get on Facebook and they'll get on everything else and they'll say, that's
All
this, and
talk.
this is this, and that's this. And then there's the boots on the ground, and that's what we do. We get outside and we look at it. We look for it, we dig it, we smell it,
Yeah.
we taste it, and we go and say, yep, that's what that is.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. And uh, that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you are one of those people that's for, it's great. Don't pay worth nothing, but but it's rewarding for yourself as far as being fulfilled
Yeah.
for whatever for your own the ones that are searching for the what is actually going on. So
Right. Well, hey, it's been just over an hour. I'll wrap this up.
hey man, it's
Really.
been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys, both of you, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for
Real
having
pleasure.
us.
Yeah. Before we wrap things up, I will shout out the sponsors though. So, I've got Nannys Convenience Store. Their link actually for their Facebook page is in the description of this video. And if you go and like their page, it automatically enters you to win a free gas card. I got a whole bunch of them here, 50s, 25s. I think there's a couple hundreds in there. But
Awesome.
yeah, a bunch of gas cards, giving those away here within the next month, actually. And then after that, I'm giving away a free Yeti cooler, so you can get you a $200-300 cooler for nothing if you win it. And
We're coming back, Bert.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So
You're
yeah, I'm
watching
really
this
excited.
show all the time now.
Yeah, yeah, I love doing giveaways, man. I've been doing giveaways since I started this thing, and it's a
That's
lot of fun.
awesome.
Yeah, and so I just signed up a deal with Parabellum Firearms and Range, and they're out of Avon, Indiana, so it's about an hour away from here. But so now I get to do more shooting, and I love doing that. So hit me up if you guys want to come with me. I'll gladly take you. And Grady Funeral Homes, they've been supporting this show since day one, and I'm very thankful for all you guys. But yeah, more giveaways to come. And like I said, go like that Facebook page, Nannys Convenience Stores. And if you like the page, you're automatically entered to win a free gas card, and we'll be drawing them soon. And I've got some very special people coming in next week. I'm working on the I guess the details right now, but I'm excited, and it will be covering some current event topics. I'll leave it at that. But man, for you guys coming in, I greatly appreciate it, and I'm gonna try to make it out there tomorrow
Appreciate it.
evening. So
Oh, great. Come on out. We'll
yeah,
talk and we'll sit down and talk a little bit more and about whatever you'd like to. It's always a pleasure to be able to come out and
We'll
sit
show
out
you- I'll
and
probably even show you a video of a shadow person. I caught at the hall on the IR video camera.
yeah,
we'll
that's
show you a few things. I mean, I've got a few things on my cell phone that I carry around.
yeah, that's the shit I like to see right there. Hell yeah. Well, it has been a pleasure, and if you are listening to this, what did he say? 8? Was it 8 o'clock? I believe tomorrow.
7 to 8.
7 to 8.
Yeah,
That's what it
7
was.
to
Yeah,
8
7 to 8 fireside
Well,
chat.
It'll probably be a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We like to
seven
take it along.
7 to 8 ish.
Yeah.
7 to 8 ish tomorrow, and that's at the McDonald House Airbnb here in Attica, Indiana.
Right.
And you can talk to the professionals and see the pictures and videos for yourself.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate that much. We look forward to y'all coming out. And you mind if I give shout outs?
Go ahead.
I'm going to give shout outs to my stuff. I'm on a Blog Talk Radio, Into the Fire radio show Tuesday nights, 8 to 10 Central. So it would be 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And then we have Night Stalkers Paranormal webpage, Night Stalkers paranormal.org, Night Stalkers Paranormal on Facebook. We've got Kentucky MUFON, which is, or MUFON itself as MUFON.com.
We got Octagon Hall Museum.
Octagon Hall Museum. You can call us down there. We run that down there also. OctagonHallMuseum.com. If you want to do an investigation there, pull up the calendar and go do that also. So,
Hell yeah.
fun place. So,
Well, gentlemen, I
thank you,
appreciate
man.
it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was
Hell
a pleasure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Pleasure.
Yeah. This has been a great time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yeah. And for everyone listening, I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see y'all real soon. So thank you.
Good night, y'all.